Welcome back to our channel, and we are done with the Canon Bronco. Went together it's a wonderful kit. It just falls together. Revell did a really super job engineering this kit. Yeah, I might get another one of these kits. It was so nice. So this is the kit we used. Wonderful kit. And then of course you've seen pictures of the Bronco. This is what we were trying to copy. This appeared in the first season. I think it was the first Bronco to appear on his show. And I thought it was just a cool looking Bronco and wanted to build it. So, you know, until they come out with a kit of a 71 Continental Mark III, then this is going to have to do. Good thing is that Canon used a lot of Broncos throughout the life of his show. So we can build more if we want to. So this is what we ended up with, and you've seen most of this anyway, so it's going to be no surprise to see. Let me adjust my camera here. Yep, no, there we go. Alright, there we go. Let me back my camera up a little bit so I don't want to blur it. There we go. So there it is, all done, and I think it looks pretty close to his. I think I've done a pretty good job of getting it like his. We'll start with what we had to do. We had to make a roll bar. You've already seen that. We had to come up with fog lights, which we got there. He had fog lights on mounted on his bumper, front bumper. They were covered throughout the show, but I left mine uncovered because I just like the way they look, so I just left them uncovered. And that was really the only two things that we had to come up with. The rest is pretty much box stock. You saw me paint the car. Ooh, wrong way. There we go. You saw me paint the car, and that's all done with craft acrylics. Now, I had it futured, and I went out. We had a nice day, wonderful day actually, and I went out and painted it Testors gloss lacquer. It looked pretty good, and then I was watching another episode, well, not another, the same episode, because I wanted to make sure that the trim was painted, and it was, so I painted the trim there, as you can see. But I noticed, and this was that way with a lot of TV cars, that the finish wasn't glossy at all. Mine was like way more glossy than what we saw on TV. And his Bronco seemed to have more of a sheen, and a lot of TV cars back then were done that way because they didn't want you to be able to see the camera crew in the reflection of the car body. So they kind of, either they dulled them down or they dirtied them up, whatever, but they didn't want you obviously to be able to see people. You know, the crew standing around, actors standing around, film guys. First I was going to leave it glossy anyway. But it's like, nah, I don't know. I put a lot of work into trying to make this close to his, so why not do the same thing with the finish? I still have a can of Testors dull coat. And that dull coat, it's not really a dull, well, it is a dull coat, but it's not a pure flat coat. Anybody who knows and has used dull coat for a long time knows it gives you more of a bit of a sheen. And I thought, boy, that sheen would be perfect for this build. So I went back and I sprayed it with dull coat, and yeah, I love the way it looks. I like it much better. So it's been dulled down, and it still has a bit of a sheen, but not you know, glossy. And I think that looks more like we saw on TV. So I did that. What else? The interior is pretty much stock. It's you know. The white seats were too white. I was like, ooh boy, that's too white. So I took the seats and the door panels and gave them a wash of sienna. Was it raw sienna? I think it was raw sienna. Let me check here. I'm going to tell you the wrong color, and then pretty sure it was raw sienna. Yeah, raw sienna. And I made a wash of it, and just washed the seats with it, and that brought the whiteness way down. Gave them a dingy kind of look, which I think looks a ton better. And I did that to the door panels too. And then the door handles and the trim was done with Prismacolor marker. Dashboard was done with silver spray paint. And I went over the dashboard with black ink to kind of bring out all the details. The speedometer is a decal, so that wasn't, that came out pretty good. But other than that, the interior is pretty much box stock. I didn't do anything special. I painted the black on the floor like his had, and that's really about it. The glass, the windshield, I had a hell of a time with the rear view mirror and the wipers, but that was my fault, dummy me. I glued the glass from the back, and it should be glued in from the front. It's like, hell. And I already had it glued in there, and I used model glue to glue it in there. So it's like, well, it's not coming back out. As thin as that windshield frame is, I would have broken it probably trying to get the glass out. So I'm thinking, well, I'm not going down that road, so I just left it, even though it's wrong, so that's my fault. But I had a hell of a time trying to get that rear view mirror in there because of the glass being in the way. And also the wipers too. I had a hell of a time getting the wipers on there because the windshield is sitting too far back for the wipers. But like I said, that's my fault, and that's what happens when you get too big for your britches and think you know everything, and you look at the instructions and see how wrong you were. It's like, well, too late now. But anyway, what we talked about? I talked about the paint finish, the interior. You saw the roll bar and going over that. I did add. I wasn't going to use electrical tape for the padding, but I went with shrink tubing for the padding. I just split it and put it on there. I thought, that'll work. And it's quicker than using tape. The molding in the back part here was another mistake on my part. This kit comes with a spare tire rack, well, like a gate. And I don't know why, but it just didn't dawn on me that I'm going to have two holes in the back because of the gate. And I don't know why, the whole time I was painting this, the whole time I was dicking around with the body, the two holes in the back here never registered in my brain. It didn't register until I went around to paint the trim white. That's when I realized, well, there's no trim here. Well, how come Revell didn't put trim here? Well, I didn't put trim here because there's a gate that goes here. And that's why there's two holes here, Chris. It's like, oh man. And I already have everything painted and all this other stuff. So it's like, well, now I got to fill in them holes. So what I did was I took some scrap sprue, glued it in from the back side to fill in the hole. And then I didn't want to use body filler because that's lacquer based, and that would eat the paint right off. I used the Vallejo plastic putty since that's pretty paint friendly, and did the body work, and then I taped it off, and then I repainted it. Basically this corner right here, the tail light corner, and repainted it. And yeah, I think it looks pretty good now. Can't tell their holes were there. So that's how we took care of that. And as far as the trim, I did that with a white paint pen. I didn't even know I had it. It's an old Tester's paint pen. Didn't even know I had it. And it's still good. So I thought, well, why not use it and make things easier? And did the trim in white. Now normally this is stainless. That would be stainless. But in the show it was painted white for whatever reason. Well, I know what reason why. Probably because they didn't want any glare coming off of it, the camera crew. And then back here where the gate was, there was no trim piece there. As I said earlier, there's no trim piece. So what I did is I took tape. I taped the bottom going around and the top going around. And then I just used the Vallejo plastic putty and went over it a few times, probably about 3 or 4 times to build it up. And then I took the tape off, and that left me basically a molding. Then I sanded it and shaped it and put a molding back on. And that's how we did that. It's a little thicker on this side, but that'll work. I didn't want to get too, I was trying to keep from ruining any kind of paint over here. I didn't want to repaint it, so I really had to be careful. If I would have done this right from the get-go, I wouldn't have had to worry about that. And, yeah, I don't know why I never registered that I would have 2 holes back here. But that's how we did the molding. That's how we fixed the back. The Ford is a decal. The bumper here, I don't know why. You know, the bumpers were done with Rust-Oleum at 2X. That's supposed to bond to plastic. According to the can, well, it chipped off right here. I don't know why. And I didn't want to, and this is after I glued it on to the frame, and I didn't want to rip it off. So I thought, well, I'll just make it a rust spot. I didn't know what else to do, so I just made it a rust spot and dripped the rust on down there and just left it that way. But yeah, I never had good luck with Rust-Oleum. I don't. That's why I don't use it. Some people use it; they have great luck with it. I just doesn't like me for whatever reason. So that's why I use Krylon. I never have any. Usually don't have. I shouldn't say never. I usually don't have any issues with Krylon. So that's that. So we got the trim all on there. The back fixed like his. Interior done. Roll bar in. Roll cage in. Fog lights on it. What else? The emblem. Yeah, the body emblem on this side. This kit has no emblem. It's molded onto the body. It's all decals. So we put the decals on this side. But on the Earl Scheib fender, we left it off because they painted right over the Bronco. So I just didn't put the emblem on this side. Just left it off. If it would have had a molded on body emblem, then it would still be blue. But so I just left it off on that side. So that's that. And that's really about it. The engine compartment is pretty much box stock. I didn't do anything special to the engine compartment. It's how Revell intended it to be, and that's how I left it. So it's just all, other than detailing out the battery, putting the decals on it, and that's really about it. Not a whole lot going on underneath there. So that's the engine compartment, and there we go. Cannon's Bronco. Pretty, I think it's pretty cool. I really like this Bronco. Even with the mismatched fender and the light blue, which isn't my favorite color, but I really like the way this looks. I think it looks pretty cool. What we got next, we have, one, two, three, four, we still have 5 more in the movie TV series to build. We have Ferris car, we have the Daktari stake pickup, we have Flipper seaplane, we have the Route 66 Corvette, and Honey West's 289 Cobra. We have them left to do. Which one's next? I don't know. I might not even do another movie TV car. I might do another kit that's been kind of calling at me, kind of yelling my name when I walk by, so I don't know, we might pull that one out, take a break from this, and then go back to the movie TV series when I get that kit done. So, I don't know. We'll see. Alright guys, that's it. We're getting kind of along in minutes, so we're going to end it. Take care. Hope you enjoy the Bronco, and hope you enjoy the movie TV series, and yeah, it's been a fun year for me anyway. Alright guys, take care. We'll see you.